Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and in today's video let's talk about diversions. We'll go over the decision-making process and then how to execute the diversion. We're currently en route from Frankfurt to Hamburg, and for whatever reason we are required to divert our flight to an alternate airport. Now, the first thing is to think about which options do we have and which options would actually make sense. So, the preferred option for a diversion is going back to your departure airport or diverting to another airport that your airline operates into if the situation makes that possible. Now, the reason for that is, at the departure airport there will usually be facilities available to handle your passengers. For example, some of them might simply be at home and can simply return home, while in other cases there may be alternate connections available. Thinking about our situation right now, Frankfurt outbound, we are flying a Lufthansa flight over here. By the way, this looks quite spectacular, doesn't it? So we are flying a Lufthansa flight right here, so the obvious option is to return back to the main operating base of Lufthansa, which is Frankfurt. Now, in case we are flying towards our destination airport and have to divert near our destination, there will usually be certain listings of alternates available by the airline. Now, if you are using SimBrief, then such alternate listing may simply include the 4 different alternates that you can find in your flight plan. Now, some airlines, think for example Ryanair, also have some commercial listings available where it tells you that this alternate airport is the most suitable for this destination because of whatever reasons. They don't tell you the reason, they just tell you it is that way. Now, other airlines are using ACARS. So for example, when we are flying en route over here in our Airbus, we could send a text message to our operations center and could ask them, okay, we need to divert, which airport is best for you? So all of these different options are available. In our case, let's decide that we are going to divert back to Frankfurt simply because it is our main operating base and we are close by. So how are we going to do this? Well, the first thing you are going to do when you are diverting is to advise air traffic control that you are doing it. ATC will normally arrange a routing for you then. In some cases you might initially just proceed to the fix that you're inbound anyway and keep flying on your filed route while ATC works a route out for you. In other cases they are simply going to take you onto a radar vector. In any case, whatever you are going to get, eventually you will have to reprogram the FMS. And here's how to do that. So you can see right now we are flying from Frankfurt to Hamburg with our alternate Hannover. Now, let's say we want to return to Frankfurt. How are we going to do that? Well, that's quite simple. You go into the legs page and then you decide which is the last waypoint that you want to keep in your flight plan for the time being. Let's say if you had a lot of waypoints after one another, you might want to choose one that's a little bit further away. In our case, since our next waypoint is 145 miles away, we can just choose the next waypoint anyway. So you go onto the lateral revision of such waypoint, and then down here you've got the new destination field. And in there you simply type the airport in that you want to divert to, in our case Frankfurt. So you type in the new destination, you hit insert, and you can see that now, after the waypoint from which you have selected the lateral revision, you get a discontinuity, and thereafter you simply get the new destination airport that you have just entered. So from here we can go ahead and build ourselves a route. So Frankfurt arrivals, they are using the ILS 25 left today. Then we can maybe take some approach via or whatever. The important thing here is you can simply start building up your route, hit insert, and now we have an arrival in here. Now, in the real world, in my experience, what happens most of the time is ATC will eventually take you on a radar vector. So let's say we're heading over here and they are turning us off track, for example 090, and eventually after they have figured out a routing, you will most likely be sent direct to some sort of an initial approach fix, such as for example down here MEFTO. So let's go to direct, MEFTO, insert, And now we are simply on the way to our intermediate approach fix, and from here on, everything that comes in line with the diversion is basically in line with the standard operating procedures that you would have for a normal approach. So filling out all the required information, etc. So your standard FMS setup basically. Now, when all of that is done, we should in any case inform our airline as soon as possible. The easiest way to do that is through our ACAS system. So we can go into the ATSU, onto AOC menu, and then you can see we've got that diversion menu over here. And over here we can simply enter our new destination airport, such as Frankfurt, our estimated time of arrival, down here 0607 at the moment. And then you can include some optional free text as well, such as, for example, due to medical or whatever. In the real world you would probably write a little bit longer text. In the simulator I'm just a little bit too lazy to do that with the mouse only. In any case, you would send this information to your airline, and then they can start arranging all the ground handling, etc. Especially when you're going to a place that is not your departure airport, not your destination airport. You might usually find yourself in a situation where you land, you taxi towards a stand, but there will be no ground crew and nothing, simply because the diversion, well, is something happening on a short notice. So the airline needs to find handling personnel, the airline needs to find staff that is able to attend you when you arrive. They may not have a gate available at the airport, so you will probably end up somewhere on a remote stand rather than at a terminal position. And these are the kinds of things that you will encounter during a diversion. Therefore, the more time the airline has available to initiate the appropriate procedures when you have to divert, the better it is, because that increases the chances of handling staff being available, of a fueling service that may be available. Without refueling, you are not going to go anywhere towards your destination later on. So all these kinds of things do come together over here. Well, and that is really all there is to it. From here on, our diversion is going to proceed just as per a normal flight, arriving in Frankfurt in about 15 to 20 minutes. So, I hope that you found this one interesting. The main course of action over here really is, first of all, the decision making, where are you gonna go? Then setting up the FMS is the easy part. That's literally going to the lateral revision of a waypoint, entering the new destination, and then, well, either getting radar vectors or just flying direct to the final approach fix, whatever ATC is going to assign to you. Well, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this one. Let me know your feedback in the comments below. And as always, if you're up for more, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again on the next one.